Okay, thank you all for joining me today. Second section, Wednesdays. All right, so always starting with those warm-ups, just loosening up the body from all the sitting that we do. Again, I'm still kind of recovering with my shoulder here, so I'll demo on one side for some of them, but please do both when we get to that, okay? So starting at the top with our head, chin goes to chest, and then lifting back up. Gentle stretches, find a stable position with your feet, shoulders are down. Nice, relaxed breathing. Just taking a moment to connect with your body. Releasing any tension. Focusing the mind on your breath. One more round before we come back to center. And then we'll move from side to side. So looking over your shoulder, back to center, and across to the other side. Maybe only 70%. Our body will naturally open over time. We don't need to force it. Nice, even breathing. Maybe breathing all the way down through the belly. Focusing your mind on the breath. Coming back to center after your next round. And we'll draw it all together. So chin to chest, ear to shoulder. Dropping the head back and around, ear to the other shoulder, chin to chest. Trying to keep your shoulders down as you do this movement. Use this time to let the shoulders hang low, arms are pulling down. One more round, and then we're going to go the other direction. Maybe you can notice a difference from side to side, whichever way we're turning or moving. Just try to acknowledge it, relax, don't judge it. Just let it be, let your body open. One more circle, and then we'll come back chin to chest and back to neutral. Next the shoulders. So we're going to come up and back and down. You can go either direction first, but we want to make full circles. So we're really using the shoulders here. You can let the arms really move. Or if it feels better, you can do the full circles, both arms. Just follow your own body. Connect with your body and your breath. We want to bring that into our Tai Chi today. Whatever feels good. These are just guides, right? So we're going to go the other direction. If you want to make some other arm movements, you want to reach across, just do what feels good. Your body knows what it needs. You just need to listen. If you're going forward, you can go back. You can alternate. Just take a moment, connect with your body. Maybe shake the arms out, whatever feels good. And then we're going to move into the elbows. Okay, so again, both arms are up and we're gonna drop them down. So I'm dropping my one arm because you guys are gonna do both. So we're gonna circle. So we're gonna keep our elbow in three-dimensional space, rotating the shoulder and elbow. So it's like a ward off, and then it's kind of like our kicking arms. We come out to the side and then we come down. So kind of like wave hands like clouds, or kicks, warding off. All of these things are within this warm-up. Good. Nice circles. They're just warming up the body. And then we're going to go the other direction. So then we go down, out, and then we're going to press down. Fingertips point down, palms to the back. Really find the rotation here. When we have this rotation, we can bring it in through our form. You'll start to notice that things are pretty similar. And then let's just do a couple with both arms. Okay, so maybe one more circle, press down with both arms. All right, maybe shake them out for a second, and then we're gonna do it with the wrists. So we're gonna roll in, again, both arms. So you're gonna roll in and then press out. So rotating the shoulders and the wrists. So kind of fan the fingers in, bring them out. And then we can go the other way. So we can come out and then draw it up and out. So we're circling. We're doing both arms. It hits that shoulder spot of mine in the exact perfect location. So one more, and then we'll just drop the arms down, maybe shake them out, get the energy flowing. And now we're going to use our waist, right? So when we use our waist here, we want to keep our hips stable. So if you want to sit on a chair so that your hips are stable, feel free. Otherwise, when you do this movement, try not to collapse your legs, okay? We want to turn from the upper body. So we can hug a tree, and we can just turn and rotate from side to side. Or if it feels good, you can let your arms swing and maybe look behind you a little bit. And you can move a little bit faster with the swing if you'd like. Again, follow your own body. Take a moment to connect and feel what's going on. Notice your breath as you do these movements. If you're swinging from side to side, we want to gently ease off before we come back to center. If you're hugging a tree, you're just going to slowly come back to center, let the arms come down. Okay, we got a couple of more joints left, right? So the hips are next. So finding a stable position, and as slow or as fast as you want to move, you place your hands on your hips, let the arms hang, doesn't matter. We're going to circle. So out to one side, back, and out to the other. Again, you can just move in a quicker pace, or you can slow it down. Do what feels good. If you want to bend one leg as you go over, if you want to keep them straight, follow your own body. And then we're going to come the other direction. So circling the other way. Again, hands on the hips, relaxed, whatever feels good. One or two more circles. And then we're going to come back to center. And we're going to work our ankles and knees. But I think because we're doing the kicks today, we're going to add in one more hip. So a couple of options here. What we're going to start with is we're going to find balance on one leg. And we can either just lift and rotate. So you lift the knee up and open it out to the side and put it down. And you just keep moving like this. Or if you feel comfortable, you can grab and kind of hold it open or hold it underneath and just kind of open up your hip a little bit and work on your balance. You can always put an arm out to the side. You could always just do a little movement. I just want you to connect with your balance and your breath here. All of that breath work we've done, breathe as you move. Try to find your center, or try to find your center and hold. And then we're going to lower down if you're holding, or stop the circling, and we're going to switch. So find your balance on your other leg. And again, arms out if you want. You can lift and turn. So pulling it up and opening it out to the side, or you could grab on the outside or on the inside. So see my hands underneath and just hold. Whatever feels good, okay? This is going to help with your kicks. We want to gain hip flexibility. We do a lot of sitting, right? Couple of more circles. Connect with your breath. You're always thinking like a string is pulling you from above. You're lifted. You're focused on one point. That'll give you your balance. Okay, good. Relax. Shake out the legs, and let's just hit those ankles and knees real quick, okay? So again, find your balance on one leg, and then we're going to rotate hip, knee, and ankle. So circling. Toe stays on the ground. Ankles moving out. If you want, if it feels better, both knees together and circle. And then go the other direction when we switch sides, feel free, okay? Now we're going to switch. So coming to the other leg, touching the toes, circling hip, knee, and ankle, or both knees together, little circles. Good. Okay, let's shake it out. So whatever feels good, if you just want to shake it or if you want to shake the whole body up and down, take a few breaths. Energy's flowing now, all the way down to the fingertips and the toes, through the crown of the head. We're awake and ready to do some Tai Chi, right? Okay, yes. All right, nice warm up. So last week we started our kicks.
Can I ask a question before we start? I had a question on
Absolutely.
Thanks. The fist under elbow. When we end in the empty stance, is that on the ball or the heel? I forgot.
Empty fist under elbows on the heel.
Heel. Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome. Good question. Good detail. Okay, so we're gonna do that, Karen. So we're gonna start with our practice as always. We're gonna run from cross hands all the way through the first separation kick. Okay. Then we'll have a bit of review on that, and we'll get into the second one. They are a similar movement, so you've already made it to the first one. The second one won't be as hard. Okay. So let's get started. I'm gonna turn and face the other direction so we're all moving the same way. Okay. Cross hands. Always starting with a good stance. So make sure you have shoulders width apart. Bend in the knees, right arm on the outside. Embrace the tiger, return to the mountain, shifting your weight, turn. Separate the arms, circle, step, open up, show striking. Roll back, connect out, and turn. Press, touching the forearm, press out. Show pushing. Fist under elbow. Flatten the arms. Show turning, grabbing, and then push out to the side. Step, ward off. Rotate to show grabbing, making a fist, empty stance on the heel. Repulse monkey, number 1. Touch, push off the front leg. Circle the arm, right palms facing up, one arm forward, one back. Number 3, hands in front of the shoulder when you step and go straight out. Diagonal flying. Circle the arms, step, splitting energy. Raise hands and step forward. Open up the arms, empty stance on the heel, turning your waist. White crane spreads its wings. Circle the arms, step. Empty stance on the toes. Brush knee. 2 half circles, step. Open up and strike. Needle at sea bottom. Shifting forward, half step in, pull back, change to the ball of foot and toes so you can sink down. Touching on the wrist, fan through the back. 1 forward, 1 back, upright like single whip. Turn body, chop with fist. Remember, chopping the foot touches, striking with the bow stance. Parry, block, and punch. Connect, circle, parry out to the side. Left hand and foot come out and then punch. Grasping the bird's tail. Ward off, right. Roll back. Press. And push. Single whip. Wave hands like clouds. Turning to the right, then the left. stepping shoulder width, double wide, rotating from the forearms, shoulders width, double wide, and then to the corner, making your hook, showing block and strike, single whip. High pat on horse, shift back, empty stance on the toes, one forward, one back, striking to the throat. Circle the arms out. Then they cross when you step, show separating. Close the arms. Stand up. Look and kick. Bend the knee, change the arms. And stop. Okay, how'd we do? How does the first kick feel? You doing good? Okay, so let's review just a little bit of the circling with the kick so that it makes today easier, right? So we did a lot of talking about this last week. So when we come from high pat on horse, if I'm mirroring you, both arms open up, they come back, so the right palm comes in, the left arm goes out, and then we separate. So this separating feeling here is what we're going to be working on today. So if we're in high pat on horse, the arms open up out to the side, then they continue their circle, and then we show separating. So the right arm is moving more than the left because we want the elbow and the knee to end up in line. So one line here. Okay, that's one of the important aspects of this move.
Cheryl,
Mm-hmm.
that's separating considered split energy?
You might be right. I'll have to double check on that, but that to me feels like a splitting energy. This is you're crossing, just as if we were crossing this way or diagonal, part the wild horse's mane. It is, you're separating. So you're going with your opponent's arms from straight and cross. And that's why we start crossed. Right? Yin and yang. So you can't go from cross to cross. You have to go from one to the other, right? From left to right. So we go out, we go outside, then we come inside, then we go outside. Yes, yeah, this is the movement here. This circling is a big part of this. And we want to make sure we end up on a parallel line here. We're not up and down, we're same level. And the palm is seated. So we're at the heel edge when we start high pat on horse, and our other palm is facing up. They kind of stay in those directions until we get to the crossed position. So can you see how my palm goes from a little bit to more sitting up? And then it stays sitting up the whole time until we close the arms for our kick, and then it's a slight up to down movement. Good, nice kicking arms.
And did you also say that you bring your knee up and then you look?
Yes, so one of the hardest parts of this is the gaze, okay? Where are we looking? So when we start doing this movement, I'm gonna do it in the normal way and talk you through the gaze. So when we're in high pat on horse, I'm looking where I'm striking. I'm gonna open up my arms. I'm still looking forward, but then I'm gonna turn and I'm looking, okay? Sorry guys, doing it the wrong way. So here, okay? Wrong leg. Sorry, with the mirror here. So we're looking. We're looking at our direction. Everything's happening here, right? So I'm kind of looking in this area. And then I'm looking towards my right palm, okay? When I close my arms, I go from looking at my right palm to looking where my arms are crossed. Then I stay looking at that direction. When I stand up, I then look and kick and bend the knee. And our looking direction after the kick stays with our kicking leg. Got it? Let's do it together. So from high pat on horse, okay, you're looking at your right palm, past your right palm technically. You open up the arms, you're still looking that way. You cross, you're kind of looking where your arms are crossed. This is where the action's happening. And then when you open the separating arms, you're looking to the right palm. When you close and turn your body, you're looking. It should feel like cross hands. You're looking just like cross hands. You then stand up, look to your kicking direction next. Kick, bend the knee, your gaze doesn't change. Okay. Now, did that feel different for anyone? Okay, good. So the gaze is very important. The gaze will help you with your kicks, okay? So if you're feeling a little wobbly, try to pinpoint and look at one thing, okay? Like look in the distance and look at one thing and try to make that your point of focus in the same direction. So I'm not saying if I'm kicking to you, I'm not gonna pinpoint and look at something over here. I'm gonna look directly ahead and say right now, look at the little light on my camera, right? So sometimes picking a point will help with your balance. Always thinking about lifting up from above like a string is pulling you and always breathing, right? We did that experiment last week with holding our breath and trying to stand, and it's more difficult when we hold our breath than if we breathe. Okay, let's do it again. Focusing on your breath this whole time. I'm gonna walk you through it. So from high pat on horse, I want you to focus on your breathing. High pat on horse, separation kick, open the arms, draw the foot in, the arms cross, you step, show separating with the arms, close the arms, stand up, look to the kicking direction, kick, bend the knee, change the arms. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Who
seeing you
focused on their
following-
breath?
I'm seeing you following your right hand, wherever that goes.
Yes, we are typically always following our lead arm. So what does that mean? If I'm doing brush knee, this is my lead arm. Okay, I'm looking here. I'm not looking somewhere over here. I'm looking where my front arm is. If I'm punching, I'm looking where this arm is, right? So if I was right in front, I'm looking here. I am looking forward, but I'm looking a little bit more to the fist. So when I'm doing this movement, I'm looking, I'm staying looking where the action is happening, right? I would stand up, look, kick, nothing changes. The gaze is very important.
Okay,
If you
yeah,
can
so
focus your,
yeah, so you're following the person you're knocking around. Makes sense. Okay, got it.
exactly. If we look at it from a martial arts perspective, we're following what the martial arts techniques are, right? So we want to follow where the action's happening or where our intent is going, right? So we want to intend not to use force, okay? Using intent, use your mind instead. Focus on what you're doing, and then everything else will come easy, okay? Because you don't want to be doing Tai Chi and your mind is somewhere else. You know, you want to be with what is going on right now. And if we can learn this technique when we do our form, it will help in your everyday life to focus on what you're doing at that point in time. Okay? Before I go in and do more talking about the next movement, let's practice one more time. Okay? So from high pat on horse, using your gaze, using your focus, separation kicks, open up your arms. Arms cross step, then separate. Close the arms. Stand up. Look and kick. Bend the knee, change the arms. Okay. Good, yes. Right palm faces up, left hand sitting in front of the shoulder when you're done. Okay, any questions on the right separation kick? Okay, next is the left one. So it's very similar, okay? The footwork is relatively easy. So remember, we talked about when we step out for the first one, we're not 45 degrees or straight, we're in between. So we're not corner or straight, we're in between, say 20 something degrees, 25, 27 and a half. And we're standing up and we've kicked and we bend our knee. When we step down for the next one, we're gonna lower down, and we step out, and this time, it's the same thing. So it's not quite corner, it's not straight, it's in between. And we move our weight forward, we then stand up and kick and bend the knee. So it's gonna be the same thing. We're gonna have 45 degrees between our two legs, but that 45 degrees is not corner and straight or straight and corner, it's a little bit off. Does that make sense to everyone? That's probably one of the hardest things. If you can draw an X on your floor with, say, painter's tape, like draw a square first, then put an X through it, that will help you kind of learn the degrees a little bit better, okay? It's a little hard with this carpet I have here for you to see tape on it, but this is what I mean. So if we have a corner and we have straight, right, 45 degrees, you would have straight all the way up. It is off. It's off. It's not straight, it's not 45, it's off, okay? So let's just do the footwork. So we have done our kick. Take a moment before you stand up on your kicking leg, look at your foot. Maybe take a moment and put it to corner, put it to straight, feel what that feels like, find what's in between. Look down, this is our practice, we have this time to do it. Then stand up. If you'd like, do your separation kick, bend your knee. Lower back down, and we're gonna step out, and we're gonna step in what's gonna be like a bow stance, but it's just a transition because we're gonna move our weight forward, and then we're gonna stand up, toe pointing down, look to the kicking direction, kick, bend your knee. That's it. Not too bad, right?
Are we generally supposed to put our foot down in the same angle that our knee is angled? Is this should be like it look the same? You know, we step down for the next kick.
Do you mean, so like if I'm kicking to you, I want to step down with my knee following that direction?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to, yeah, you want to make sure. So I'm less than corner, or in between straight and corner here. My knee is in between straight and corner. Okay. We're legs tucked in, right? We're not straight down. It's tucked in, protecting our groin a little bit. As we lower down, your toes still pointing down, and then you step out. So I'm not going to go and like step at some weird, right? It's already pointing the direction that we're going, right? This leg is already pointing in between straight and corner, and we're stepping down in between straight and corner. So it shouldn't be that much of a change there. And then it's the same thing, standing up. And again, we're not going to stand up and like do a fancy leg turn. We're going to stand up, maybe it comes in a little bit and then opens out in between straight and corner.
I have a little trouble getting my leg into the right knee angle from the get-go. So I do tend to move it out a little bit more once I'm ready to do the position.
Yeah, that's fine though. You have to gain leg strength. Tai Chi is like one of the best things in the world for leg strength. The stronger your legs get, the easier it will be. But as we gain this strength, we also need to keep our flexibility, which is why we do these warm-ups, right? Okay, so the footwork is relatively simple. We're stepping down from a kick into kind of a bow stance, transition step back up into a kick. So let's talk about the arms. So if I'm mirroring you, we did our arms and we've ended up in this position. Our right palm is facing up, our left palm's in front of our shoulder. It's gonna have the same kind of circling. So what's gonna happen is your left arm's gonna come across your chest, your right arm's gonna circle out and come until you're kind of in that closed position again. And then it's the same separating feeling. Please ignore my left shoulder coming up, okay? There's a big difference from this to this. Everyone see it? Okay, try to ignore that. So we come, right palm's facing up, left palm seating. That word is so hard for me, guys. Okay, it stays in this position and it comes and we're gonna circle the arms and then it's that forward and back. So it's the same thing as before where your right arm it's not gonna move that, it's not gonna be this giant movement, okay? It's gonna come and your left arm is doing most of the separating here. So we come, and I'll do it from the side this time so you can see it a little bit more, okay? We're gonna cross and then separate. So it's circling out and back. This one's coming across and out, or it's coming out and in. Remember, so remember we did it out this way? So we did high pat on horse and they came out and crossed. So this is missing that first part of the circle. So we're just coming from the crossed variation and finishing the end of our circle. Yes. So from here, I'm mirroring you. We cross and then separate. And remember, when you separate, don't separate too much. Relaxed. Now, how do we know?
Quick question. On your hand that's facing you, is it similar to the reading the book, like when you're doing rollback? Is your hand sort of in that same position?
Yes, it's rotated. Okay. Or they call it ward off. You know, it's similar to a ward off arm. So you're looking up at your palm.
I don't like reading the book. I remember.
So it's not. Yeah, that's a good one actually, because if you were reading a book, you would have to have it facing you, right? Yeah. So you wouldn't have your palm like this. It would be rotated up. That looks great.
That's like in the rollback, right? The same. Is that the same position?
Yep, rollback is the same thing. Yep, same thing in rollback. Well, actually, depending on which side you do it on. But so this movement, it's gonna feel similar, the end posture is gonna feel similar to rollback. The big difference is that rollback, or whichever side you're doing it on, right? Rollback, your arm that's turned in this position is lower than your other arm. In this posture, we want the same level. So there's a big difference from rollback, where one's a little bit higher than the other, to being on the same level. Now it's small, but can you see what happens when I lift? So we go from rollback, separation kicks. Yes, it's a little difference, but it's a big difference because the meaning is separating from the side. Roll back is one up and one down. So the postures may look similar, but they're very different. This is crossing and separating, pulling someone. So remember we talked about having their arms like they go from straight and then they end up crossed and then bent over, right? Roll back is taking someone's arm and just doing this up and down. It's not a cross, it's up and down, okay? But that is the perfect example of the similarities within the form. Thank you, Karen. Okay, that to me shows you're digging deeper, okay? You're seeing what's going on in the form. You're seeing the similarities. This will help your form immensely, okay? So let's talk about how all of this comes together. So after we do our kick, our arms are changed, our knees bent and up. When we step down, our arms do not change. Our heel is touching, then we start circling. Arms are crossed, and we open up. Now you know that you're in the right position again if your knee and elbow are in one line. Your left palm will be towards the corner, and we're looking this way. So from our kick, we change our arms, okay? So your palm's facing up, left palm in front of the shoulder. Left palm in front, right palm's turned up, right leg's up. You're gonna lower down, the legs don't change, you step. As you move the weight, the arms start to circle. Then we finish with that separating movement as we move all of the weight forward. We're looking towards our left palm. We're then gonna close our arms, our body turns, our gaze turns. We stand up, look to the kicking direction, bend the knee, or kick, bend the knee. Arms don't change. Good. Okay, any specific questions on that before we run through it a few more times?
Cheryl, it's John.
Yeah.
Maybe you could explain how the waist is helping us in the turns? I mean, yeah, I'm a little bit confused about that.
Absolutely. This is one of those confusing moments, okay? So we start with high pat on horse, okay? We're not square, but we're not corner, we're in between. Our waist leads the movement. So we circle, open up the waist, we start closing, step. So I'm kind of straight here, and then it's a forward movement of the waist. So it's not a turn, it's you're moving forward. Then we turn the waist to close. Waist doesn't change as you kick, right? Bend the knee. Waist doesn't change as we step. Then here's where you're gonna feel a little bit, but it's mostly forward moving, right? So it's forward. So we're going from here, and we're kind of staying in that way, but it's a circle of the whole body, kind of. Yeah.
Thank you.
So a lot of the times, if you're at that level, when we talk about waist, if not, don't worry about it. But there's turning, but there's also forward and back, right? There's different methods for this. So sometimes you might not see it, but then we can talk about it at a different level. So let's do it together from high pat on horse. Okay? So I'll go the same direction. Left foot, empty stance on the toes. Right palm is striking on the edge. Left hand's under by your ribs. Right separation kick. Arms open up. Pick up. Step when the arms are crossed. Separate the arms. Turn. Close the arms. Stand up. Look. Kick. Bend the knee, change the arms. Right palm's facing up, left hand's in front of the shoulder. Stepping down, touch, crossing the arms, showing the separating as we move our weight forward. Close the arms, stand up, look, kick, bend the knee. Okay. Do you think you can do it on your own? Maybe?
No.
I'm going to challenge you. Okay? So this is a good thing for you to think about. We want you to be able to do it on your own. Okay? I'll walk you through it. I'll do some of the arms, but I really want you to try. Okay? So from high pat on horse, we just did it. Let your body flow. Don't use your mind to overthink it. Let your body flow. Separation kicks, open the arms, stepping out when the arms are closed and crossed, separate. Close your arms, stand up, look, kick, bend the knee, change the arms. Step out, cross the arms, separate as the weight moves forward. Close the arms, stand up, look, and kick. Yes. Okay, I know you guys said you couldn't do it. Michelle, you don't have your camera on, so I can't confirm, but everyone just did it. So great work.
Not
So
me, not me, I got one.
Well, we'll do it again. Yeah, Marion.
When you bring your arms back to cross each time, so when you pull out, when you separate first, and then you're going to bring your arm back, how much of a pause is there between the those two parts, the separating out and then bringing it back into a cross?
Okay, so if I was here, I just touched, right? I'm going to come more forward just so you can see the arm. I touch, I'm going to shift, turn, move forward, close the arms, stand up, look, kick. So there shouldn't be like a long pause. It should be you're here, you're turning, separate, close, stand up, look, kick. Good? Okay. Yeah, so what we're doing when we're teaching these movements is we're showing you what we call Kodak moments, right? So these are things when you practice at home, you can say, what was that moment? Where should I be? Oh, there was a stop point here. Okay, so this was the first one when we kicked, right? Bend the knee, change the arms. The next one we touch, arms don't change. Then we have our cross, but the next real moment is here. This is the Kodak moment. This is why we're pausing, because you can check that your elbow and knee are in line. You can check that your arms are on one level, that your left palm is towards the corner. It's not to straight, it's not out to the side, it's to the corner. And we have a lean, right? We talk about the body angle. We're leaning towards this front leg. We're not leaning to the empty space. We're not sitting up to the side. We're leaning towards our front leg. So this is a stop point. Our next stop point is when we turn the body and close the arms. So you should feel like here, cross hands. It's cross hands, but we're in this different stance, but the upper body is still the same. The next one is the kick. So is your leg pointed down? Are you looking this way before you turn and then kick and then bend the knee? So these are things that we're gonna continuously kind of tick off. We're gonna say this, 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 and this is the whole move. But the big goal, smooth, even, and continuous. Okay? So let's do it all again from high pat on horse, and then we'll see if there's any last questions. So high pat on horse, empty stance, left ball of the foot and toes, right palm is striking. We're gonna move back the weight a little, open up the arms, draw the foot in, arms cross, step, separate the arms, close, turning the body, stand up, look to the kicking direction, kick, bend the knee, change the arms. Stepping down, arms don't change. Weight moves forward, arms cross, and then separate. Close the arms. Stand up. Look, kick, bend the knee, the arms don't change. Okay. How are we doing? Welcome to the kicking section. I know it's difficult, okay? It's very hard to balance on one leg for a very long time. And these classes are about 45 to 50 minutes. If you're having trouble, It's okay. All right, any questions on these 2 separation kicks? Does everyone know that which part of the foot we're using to kick? Yes, top of the foot. I'm asking these questions to make you think, okay? Because when we do these kicks, these are the only time we see these kicks, okay? So next week, we're gonna be working on a turn and our first heel kick. Got you, Kelly. Bye. So next week will be a little bit of a different class, okay? So we're gonna work on our turning and our balance. So this week, work on your breathing, okay? That's gonna help us. So we're gonna practice again, but before we do, I just want everyone to know that these videos are now up on YouTube. So if you wanna practice again, they're on the Young Chengfu Seattle's YouTube page. It's YCF Seattle on YouTube, okay? And then tomorrow, Kelly's practice is at 9 o'clock, okay? It's switched times now. So it's at 9 a.m. if you wanna join Kelly for practice, okay? I'm gonna ask one more time before we close class by practicing again. Any questions on the separation kicks? Okay, let's practice. Let's do it from single whip, high pat on horse, right and left separation kick. Make sure you have a good starting position where you have a natural stance so you can shift your weight back for high pat on horse. Single whip. Shift back your weight. Pick up, empty stance on the ball of the foot, high pat on horse. Separation kicks. Open up the arms, draw the foot in, step out when they cross. Separate. Close the arms, turning the waist. Stand up, look to the kicking direction and kick. Bend the knee, change the arms. Sinking down, touch, circle, separate, weights forward. Close the arms, stand up, look to the kicking direction and kick. Bend the knee. Okay. All right, that was great work today, everyone. We're closed class. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great week, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
I think that mirror screws me up. When you do it in